Yeah, welcome back to PND. What are we talking about?
Recording.
I don't know.
Restart.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
ready?
right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just want to do that. Yeah.
Party's on, baby.
There you go, Poe. Always on.
Guys, we are back at Cafe Victoria, as you can tell, and we got the
We
spot
traveled
after.
far, real far.
We got the spot after closing hours, so we must be special. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex, the crew. You know, we love you guys. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So now they own us. So now we just gotta talk about coffee all day.
Yeah.
I got this
amazing
mushroom coffee.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to talk about this because the mushroom coffee. At first, when she said that, I was like, "Shut
What a
up."
About
saleswoman!
the
I love
lemonade,
it.
though.
I love
What?
it.
Hibiscus lemonade, though.
Sounds like crack. It's great.
It is. You remember those charged lemonades that gave everybody heart attacks? This is
Oh
better.
god, that's better. So wait, so I bought mushroom coffee for myself because I thought it's so good for you, and I hated it. I almost vomited when I tried it. It was gross. So then when she was
It
like,
tasted like
"Oh,
feet?
like, do you want to try this new mushroom coffee?" I'm like, "Oh no." Do I say no? Do I say yes? Like, what do I say? I was like, "Okay, fine." And honestly, I must say, it's delicious. Like, did you try it or no?
Oh no, but you can pass it over, Vic. Yeah, throw that in.
It's
Oh,
so
this
good.
is an indirect kiss, guys.
Oh,
Oh, now the rumors are really going to fly.
Yeah,
Now
just
we're
because you guys.
screwed.
Oh, yeah. Well, me and Poe are dating. Sure. Okay. Whatever.
D does not like white chicks.
Thank you. See, she knows me. She knows that what
And
I
if
like.
you've been watching, you would know that too.
That's actually pretty good. It tastes
Right?
like mocha.
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Are we sharing
I
saliva
do.
today?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, like it's so weird to me, like that people like think of that because I've shared so many joints with
Surprisingly good.
guys.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I
Right,
need to
yeah,
buy
yeah,
it on
yeah,
my own. Like
yeah.
I would drink that
Yeah.
over.
No, you just
regular
gotta buy
coffee.
the coffee person and just like
I know.
you just gotta wake up and
Barista.
a barista.
I have it already. That's one of
deal.
the things I'm gonna get when I'm super rich. This is gonna be. I'm gonna have a personal
Actually,
barista and personal chef.
let me ask you that.
What?
If you were super rich, what would you get? Like if you had
Like
infinite.
first things?
Yeah, first things. Go ahead. Top rich things to get.
Okay.
You would just buy right out the
Well,
back.
I don't want to talk about like materialistic things.
I
I want to
do.
more. I more so want to talk about like investments in myself. So one of the investments
Okay,
will be
fine.
personal coach,
All right.
a nutritionist, a private chef.
I feel like this is all still material things.
Yeah, but it's more like
Right?
I get it.
It's a good
You know what I'm
thing.
saying?
You're,
Like,
you're
we're
saying
staying
like
healthy.
things that aren't superficial versus
Right.
things that contribute to building you as a person.
yes, correct.
Yeah, but that's also superficial because they're building like
Yes.
you.
Okay,
as-
but I was thinking like, oh, buy a house. Like obviously I want to buy a house.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's to me like more materialistic than having someone who benefits my helps me benefit my
I'll
health.
say it like this: Victor, I know would buy a supercar. Like as far as like if there was infinite amount of money, I know
kind of
Victor
car?
would. Yeah, like Victor's big on cars. Like
I do like a good car.
Yeah, I would get the Selena 7 for sure.
Ooh.
that's his dream car right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's been for a while.
I haven't really thought of what car I would get, but this is what I mean. Like materialistic things like that. Like
But
I don't
I-
get so excited about it.
But I agree with you. I mean, like the thing I would think about first, if like is, not a home per se, but like wherever I live, like make it like almost like an Iron Man house. It's fully automated and
Love
just like
it.
programmable and just I'm not doing the programming, but get the people who know.
Yeah, yeah.
So this way, it's just like the more you can, I can optimize my environment because I'm so distracted on a daily basis. If I could just have like, good morning, and then a whole morning routine just happens. Those eggs
Oh,
and bacon are
great.
getting
I would
cooked,
love
coffee
that.
served,
Wait,
my
that's
outfits
great.
Less
picked
thoughts. Okay.
Less thoughts in the
out. Yeah,
morning.
because I'd
No,
rather
but
just
that's
do what
so
I want to do.
true.
You know, I'd rather think
Whoa,
about
whoa.
what's important, the business. I'd rather think about
Yeah.
filming. I don't want to think about all the little.
Wait, you guys know
Nonsense.
Mel Robbins and her show?
Oh, actually, I do
Yes,
know
I
Mel
do.
Okay,
Robbins.
so
yeah.
she actually has a lot of podcast episodes on.
Is she related to Tony Robbins?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I was thinking about that the other day. I need to like Google it because now I'm
Yeah.
like intrigued.
Yeah.
But I listened to a podcast that said pretty much like even if you're so exhausted at night, like just get as much shit done as possible. So when you wake up, you don't have to worry about anything other than just have your coffee. Oh, or get a coffee machine and set up at 6 a.m. to brew it for you, so you don't even have to do that. So you wake up and you automatically know and have enough time to get into what you want to get into for the day instead of worrying about, oh shit, I need to do the dishes. Oh shit, I need to make a breakfast. Oh shit, I need to make myself a coffee. Now 2 hours later, you're like, damn, my morning just went.
So that's how you start your mornings?
So I've been trying to really wake up and have most of things automated in a way, so I don't leave any dirt behind me. Even at the spot that I work at now, like I could never just finish clients and go home and without stop smiling, you fuck. You know, finish up with the clients and just leave the mess and go home. So I come in the morning to clean. I don't operate like this. That automatically almost sets me back, and my mood is just already like frustrated. I'm like, why is this fucking clean? I mean, dirty. Like I need it to be clean. Versus my coworkers, they're opposite. So when I walk in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, I would rather just get it all over with right after and then come in the morning and have a fresh start and not having to worry about everything from the day before. But that's just because I've been, you know,
Trained that way.
You set up systems to help, like, because
Kick off your
I
day.
do the same thing in the sense of, like, when I do different tasks, I tend to do them exactly the same way every time. If I'm plugging this in, I plug this in, then I plug this in.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, first cameras, first this, and that.
Yeah.
And then I know some people are just like, okay, whatever I grab first, that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes my brain is just like, no, you didn't
We're
do the
very
other
similar
thing.
in that aspect. I get distracted very easily, and I even with silly social media, like for instance, like we were just talking offline,
Camera.
off camera. How like what
Offline.
whatever.
It's fine. It's fine.
a good attempt.
How like I have so many notifications coming into my phone, like to my phone, and 3 different accounts. I get like overwhelmed. So I used to get in trouble in relationships where I would be on my Instagram creating a post on skincare, and like I'm getting text messages, but I'm almost like not seeing them. I'm not ignoring them to make it clear.
Right.
I'm so locked in that if I click on that text message, it will throw me off to the point that I'm never gonna finish the task that I was doing. So I have to. It's like an ADHD thing, I guess.
I guess.
Well, I feel like all of
undiagnosed.
us, like in this generation, well, this time, I should say,
Yeah.
just going through our phones, going through social media,
So
and like
many things to
just those
distract
things
you.
that ping up, and then like
Mass
you end up
stimulation.
doom scrolling yourself. Like, oh, I just came to Instagram to post, and then like you end up, I've been here.
Like,
what
oh,
was
it's 2 hours
supposed to
later.
do?
That's like the hardest thing for me nowadays. It's like, oh, I need the message. I need to reply to this message in
Yeah.
Instagram. Second I go in, it's gone. It's like, and I literally were like, why am I here? I leave the app. Then I remember I need to reply to this. And it's like cycle after cycle. I'm like,
Yeah.
stop. I just straight to the
One
message.
thing
Go
at
there,
a time.
quick.
It is so true. And also, I don't know if you guys know Rob Dial podcast.
I can't.
I've
say
heard
I
of it.
watched
Mindset podcast.
I've heard of it, yeah.
The Mindset podcast is really
Okay.
good, actually.
I'll watch it,
He
yeah.
also gives a lot of good tips on how to be less distracted. For instance, if you know you have something like editing to do, right? You're sitting there and you know you have 2 hours only. Put that phone away, like in the other room. Put it on Do Not Disturb, but obviously be accessible if there is an emergency.
No,
but
I feel like that's what Victor does.
I do.
I
I,
mean,
put
you
it.
have
I put it in
to.
a drawer.
Yeah.
I put
Perfect.
it and I close it.
And like communicate. I'm sure you communicate with your wife. Like, hey, if you need me, call me 3 times and I'll pick up, or something like that. Like, if you text me, if you think I'm gonna answer you when I'm doing something, don't get mad at me because I didn't text you back, because I already vocalized that you need to call me if you really need me. You know what I mean? It's so. I agree with you guys. Nowadays, there's so many distractions. Just the
opposite.
phone. What's that?
You can finish, but I was just saying I'm the opposite. If you really need me, text me.
Really?
Because I'll read that first before I can answer a phone
See,
call.
I don't. You have to like call me to like so. Whatever I'm doing with my phone disappears.
I get way too many spam calls for me
Okay.
to respond too much to phone calls.
Okay. Yeah.
I can read though, and if I like, okay, I need to respond to this immediately, then
You
I
know,
can
it's-
make that decision.
You know, it's crazy because I just for the spams, I've just been getting them so much more now.
So much.
Oh,
I've
I
actually-
get text
yeah,
messages that
yeah.
say hi.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get those?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
I
course,
get
of
all
course.
variations of that on multiple apps.
I hate motherfuckers that send me that with no name, no
Yeah,
way.
just
Oh
hi.
yeah,
or
and
like,
then
the most random questions, like, "Oh, I missed you at lunch the other day." I'm like,
that.
What?
And I just wonder. Is it just one text I send them back, and then they get my bank account information? Is that how this
Nice.
works?
access to the phone somehow.
Yeah.
like,
These guys just know exactly how to hack just through one text.
and then the
It's just
hardest thing is like my phone is
Yeah.
the pass through for the business number. So I'm not gonna like. I was like, is this a client or is
Oh,
this just
that's
another guy
right.
that's about to
Yeah.
waste my time?
Yeah.
And it's always like, oh, damn. So I'm like double checking the app to make sure.
Just to say, guys, though, I call him a lot.
A lot.
And he does not pick up. So at that
You
point, I
call me
just
so
would
much
lose
to the
it.
point
Yeah.
that there's a number of people that already refer to you as my second wife, including my
A little
wife.
bromance, I
yeah,
agree.
no, that makes perfect sense, honestly. Like,
But that makes
yeah.
you guys good business partners. Like just calling each other a lot.
well, I mean, through just that, I guess he trained me, just to put it in good terms. I guess it's just like I'll just
We
mess with
learned
you.
each other.
Yeah,
I'll
like
go
if he doesn't pick up, okay, cool. I'm just gonna send him a text, and then I'll wait. But the one thing that I hate is when I have like a client that hits me up or just like
Yeah,
I'm
they go to you
yeah.
because our things are like interlocked.
Yeah,
too, so
yeah,
it does.
that's where I'm
the
just
channels
like-
get crossed.
Yeah, and I'm just like I can understand that you have your life, and I try to give space because it's.
But no, it's
understandable.
important to
Yeah.
respond to clients
Yeah.
in a timely manner.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
totally
yeah,
get
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but
So I always try to, like, when you send me those screenshots, I'm like, okay, I gotta.
yeah, I gotta get back to him.
But you know what? At least you
Gotta
guys
figure
are
it out.
like you know that okay, like if you need him or whatever the case
We've
might
learned
be,
that- we learn how
learn
to.
each other
Yeah.
language and habits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like for me, if I'm telling you, call me if you need me, and you text me, you get frustrated, that's on you. Sorry, I told you to call me. Because I have Apple Watch, so it will start vibrating if you're calling me. When I get a text, I get little vibration. But like if I'm locked in on something, I swear to God, I have the most selective hearing, and I think it's a good thing, and also a bad thing. And I get it from bartending because you have to.
Yeah.
You hear so many different things that your brain would probably explode if you had to absorb everything. So even now in like a regular day-to-day basis, like if you were, let's say we're sitting here and you're saying something to me, but you
Yes.
did not mention my name, I will not hear you. Like you have to say Paulina or Poe or Pow, whatever,
Learn something new.
for me to be like, oh, they need me. Like they're saying something. It's so annoying sometimes, but I think it comes down to like a lot of distractions what we have, and like the brain is just not.
I think I've been getting
Operational.
better though on just like how
Yeah.
to manage them all, and just I think the biggest distraction I had was masturbation.
We talked
was
about it.
that was yeah, but like
That's right.
yeah, just through it all, just one thing that
Wait,
you
can
mentioned.
I ask, like, how did that distract you? Like,
Oh, of
obviously, in the
course.
moment, like,
Yeah.
you know, you're doing it, whatever. Let's not
Yeah,
get into
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
No,
like,
but it's
how
a
did
real
that
topic.
Make,
It's a-
how did
yeah.
that make a distraction in, like, a negative impact in your life in general?
It was funny because it was something that Victor mentioned to me. It's or you sent me I forgot it
Was that a reel
yeah.
or for me or whatever?
It was something else, but it was about through procrastination and hypersexuality. That you use your hypersexuality to procrastinate, and I think that was one of the things that was
I got you.
limiting me through it all. Which
Oh yes,
yeah.
that was the Think and Grow Rich. That's where I got that from.
oh,
Oh,
so
okay.
good.
Yeah, but then after some recent events, I just decided I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on the task at hand. Let me complete what I have to do.
And then you can do what you gotta do.
Well, I mean, not even. I
Okay.
just decided I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna yank it. I'm just gonna leave it alone and just like, okay, let me just focus on what I need to do. And it's just like lately it's been going away, but it's also a question of just like health of because from what I understand, it's also healthy to masturbate, but there obviously everything's a balance.
Balance, yeah.
With it all.
Everything's a balance.
But yeah, I've
I think-
I've also heard about penis pumps, so it was just something interesting
What is
to penis pump is it's basically like this cylinder thing that you put your dick through.
I don't know if I'm gonna regret that.
Yeah,
I
no,
asked it.
it's a real. I actually learned it from a Diary of CEO. Like one of
Okay.
he invited a sex therapist or whatever her name was. I forgot, but it was cool to listen to it. And she was talking about using a penis pump just because it helps your like building a muscle. Like
Oh,
it helps
nice.
train it through just like it basically sucks out the air when you put your dick in there, and then just like it pumps blood into
Oh,
it,
shit.
so the
Okay.
capillaries are being used, and now you get more blood flow through that as you use it. And
Nice.
through the benefit of that is you increase your dick size within a year or so. Like just not like you're not going to increase like 5 inches,
5
but
inches, yeah. Maybe an inch.
yeah, it's actually about
pretty
an
good.
inch, give or take. Like obviously results will
Will vary. This disclaimer:
just put
he is
these to the
not a
test.
medical professional.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is not medical advice.
I just
This is-
heard some shit. That's it.
That's
but
hilarious.
but I've been thinking about getting one just to try it out, just to see like what good, you know.
Please
because-
consult your doctor at this moment.
Yeah. I think you would, right? Like,
would
'cause
hope
it-
so.
Yeah, just like 'cause I don't know. You don't want to lose too much blood because I don't know if you would faint. I think I've heard of something like that where somebody fainted because all their blood flow just went to their dick, and then there's just like
Anything
"Ugh."
going wrong down there
Yeah.
just sounds horrifying.
I guess so.
But
Yeah.
same goes for like girls. I've heard that if you don't have sex or you don't masturbate for a long time,
Yeah.
like I don't know if this is again like scientifically backed or you know, I just have heard that your muscles in your vagina age like your vagina ages faster if you don't use it. If you don't
Yeah.
use the muscles.
Now I'm curious on like the effects on people who like are true abstinent, you know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
don't do anything and for years
Do you think they
at all.
Do you think that generally happens when they're younger until they?
no, I mean it varies. It varies widely. Some
Because when
people
you're
do
younger,
it.
it's different. You're tight, and you know
I mean,
you're.
technically, there's certain sections of monks that just do it for their entire lifetime.
Oh wow.
They don't do
Yeah.
anything at all.
But at the same time, they train through that.
They train. It's
So-
a big
Okay.
mental practice,
Okay.
meditation,
Yeah.
and everything like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if because they say it's healthy, so what is the adverse effects?
Yeah. I will
gotta
say,
look into it.
I will say one of the things that helped me balance out this whole thing was just going to sleep at the right time, because like when I
Proper
stayed
sleep.
up longer and then like I was drained and I was just trying to finish an edit or do something, then I was like, okay, maybe like, and then like, you know, eating food, doing things because your brain wants to stay up, like
Yeah.
you're forcing yourself to stay up. So that's where you're just like trying to do whatever you can to like just push yourself past that. So that's where I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to sleep. I'll wake up in the morning and do it. If I can earlier, if I can't, then whatever. But I think sleep has just become more a priority to me
That's
now.
really good.
I
Yeah.
heard recently from like it was both from a psychologist and then the other one was from a nutritionist. But they say recent studies have come out that after people say like after you're 25, 30, 20, right, your metabolism starts to tank, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my metabolism, right? And actually scientific research suggests that your metabolism actually just stays exactly the same from 20s till you're 60. Doesn't go down at all.
That's
If it has
interesting.
slight variations, but
Wow.
it's actually not going down. What happens is that we go from a regulated scheduled life with basic responsibilities that you eat regularly, you sleep regularly, and you're fairly active.
Right.
Then you go out into the world,
Yeah.
and then you pretty much lose all of that. You start, you start sleeping irregularly. Most people are sleep deprived to some degree. You start to not exercise and not be active because you're too tired after work or whatever excuse and this and that. And most people, especially in America, still don't have like the greatest diet, and our food selection in general just leads to malnutrition. And so it's like that's where it's like a lot of the obesity comes from. A lot of that, it's like it's not that your metabolism going down. It's like those are like the foundations. And the psychologist was saying that those also are the same reasons, are the root cause to most of like the mental stressors that people are dealing with, like the average person is dealing
Right.
with. They're feeling more depressed. They're feeling more anxious. They're feeling more like
Yeah.
harder to focus. Different things like that is because like either they're not getting enough sleep, they're not actually exercising, which is good for your brain and everything. And you're probably malnourished, and and that's why we need supplements and different things like that. And like those are the leading cause of a lot of things. So it's like if we had those three things, then most of us would be a little more regulated on the regular and not with these all these diseases. Obviously, a lot of mental health diseases still exist and perpetuate, but a lot of them, the everyday person doesn't have it. But I feel like everyone feels like they have something now, you know?
True.
I like that.
Could I tell you one of my biggest fears? Yeah, is not being able to satisfy a woman. Yeah, like because of the vagina thing that you said.
Okay, I'll tell you right now that if a woman knows what she likes
No,
and
no.
she communicates it,
That's not what I'm talking about, though. Like, I get your point.
you're talking about life-wise?
No. I'm talking about I satisfy a woman so well, then she just, like she just becomes a demon. And then, like, I cannot satisfy that demon anymore because she's just like, give me more of that dick. And I'm just like, there's no more to give.
Well,
Like,
why would you limit yourself to that
why would
mindset? Like I'm saying, like if you create a demon, right?
Yeah.
Then the sky's the limit. Wouldn't you go different
Okay,
stretches?
I don't think you understand
Okay.
how a man works. After we shoot twice.
Oh, you're talking about amount
No,
of time.
he's talking like length. Like
Oh,
if they
okay.
want to keep going.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like different things, spicing things up. Okay.
No. I just mean it's just like I made you orgasm a couple times now. I left you in baby fetal position. Don't touch me. Just like, and now it's just like.
I don't think you like.
I think that's a win.
It's a win until it's just
Yeah.
like where it's like.
We
where-
can't come 17 million times. That's a lie. Whoever is telling you that they come
I
17 times
didn't say
in an
17
hour-
million times. I said like a good 3 times.
Okay, 3
Yeah.
times is a
Yeah.
good number.
Yeah.
No, but
Then
they
she's
want
gonna
to.
be exhausted.
But then like an hour later she wants more.
I mean, fuck, that's great.
Maybe to you.
No,
No,
I'm just saying, like, personally, I would probably go to bed after 3 times.
Well, that's good, but like,
Yeah.
but
I'll be like,
also,
do not touch
also,
me.
I'll say it like this:
I am RIP for the night.
after that kind of a workout, I'm okay with a couple days of like, okay, we can recoup. Like,
yeah,
I
because
will
it
do.
hurts at the end of the day,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, I understand.
Well, I'm glad you do, but some of these women, they're like, I love it. I love that the fact that they enjoy it so much.
I
But
think there's so much more to a relationship than obviously sex. So I feel like if you're satisfying a woman in so many different aries, that sex is not going to be the most important part of your relationship. Trust me.
I'm gonna say what a man says. Go ahead, because I don't care about that. No,
I mean,
Hello.
isn't the end of any good show is it leaves you wanting more?
Yes, but can you give more? Is the
Ew.
question.
Well, you gotta
That's the-
wait. You gotta wait till next episode next week.
Can you wait? Can you wait until next week?
I can.
Can you wait? Okay. Because I've had women just hound me after like a day after, just like more, and then after that,
at some
more.
point, you can ask, like, does this chick have a sex problem? Because there's more to life than just having sex.
I mean, there is addictions around that.
yeah.
Like, that is a problem.
realistically, I mean, shit, I only probably know 2 relationships that have, like, people that have been together for about 5 years and they have sex every single day. To me, like, that's, like, even personally, like, I don't even have time to have sex every day. You know what I mean? So it's like if it's a weekend, it's a Saturday, and I came 3 times in a row, I'll be like, bruh, see you in 5 days. Like, I'll be like, can't do it. So.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, but I'm
Yeah,
just,
I wouldn't worry
I don't know.
about
Maybe
that.
my dick is just cursed that way. It's just like, yo, like, no, I
I wanna
want
hear-
more. I want more. I'm just like, yo, lady, chill out, please. Like, time out. All right, you go sit on your corner over there. Just like, this is why I'm happy to welcome. Like, hey, let's bring out some toys. Let's do something.
You know, a lot of guys don't fucking like it.
I love
Really?
it. I would.
I think
I would
it's
welcome that. I would
crazy.
love
It
to see.
helps you out.
Yeah, I would love to see a girl do it. Like,
No,
I'm
'cause
just gonna
it-
get the horsepower thing, like the just like ready for this, just like like Vic. I mean, not to go into your personal through that, but like, do you encourage toys or okay, yeah. See,
Yeah, at some point I'm not saying you
I don't see
have
why
to.
not.
Why not?
listen,
Right?
I just
I feel
I
like
don't know, I
I
just
feel
feel-
like if people have an issue, it's just an insecurity thing.
yeah, and I've
I
had
wasn't
to.
gonna be the one to say it.
Okay, well, I'm,
Well, there you go.
yeah, well,
I love that for
like
me.
again, I don't have an insecurity if they brought that. Oh, can we just use it? Well, sure, that's fine with me.
Wouldn't
Let's do it.
you wouldn't sit there and think like, oh, like she's not satisfied. This is why she's bringing the toy.
No,
No.
no.
Okay, good.
And honestly, it's just like I just don't. I couldn't comprehend that kind of logic of just like it's a toy. It's not replacing me.
No.
It's like, and I've
At
had
the end of the day,
yeah.
the most beautiful thing about being intimate is an energy exchange. So I do not have an energy exchange with my Rose. I love her sometimes, but
Fair.
it's never gonna be my partner for life. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
So
like to spark that brain of just like the
Yeah.
chemistry of just I love this person. They mean so much, and that's not sex.
and you
that's
can
just-
even use the toy on me. Like I don't have to be the one using it. You know what I mean? Like it can be a teamwork.
Okay, I was picturing a very different thing. I was like, okay, that rose is not going up my butt.
No. No, but I'm saying like you can
Of course,
use the,
that's where you're about.
Well, I
with
was
that.
I was like, well, like she was like, I don't have to use it. I was like, then who's using it? Where's this extra
saying,
person
like,
coming
Like,
no,
from?
I
it's not
understood.
physically-
I
okay,
understood where you
cool.
were going.
Yeah.
like you can use it on someone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys that are curious, dude. You'll be shocked.
I'm not, but that's why I thought that. I was like, okay, but nice, to each their own, right?
Yep.
Live your life.
Jesus, we always get these topics again.
Well, the
Oh,
people are
it's
curious about these topics.
They are.
Have
So-
they said?
No. Not at all.
Oh,
Well, you got them anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I had this one girl that mentioned something like that. Like, you are a horn dog, and I just thought about that. And I was like, like maybe.
But then
just,
again,
like,
you still need 4 to 5 business days.
yeah. That's the funny part where I'm just like, I just talk all this, but and like I'm good at it, but. I think like I'm also 36 years old, so
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people actually that mention that, like, when they refer to, like, talk to me about you sometimes,
okay.
they're like,
I'm curious now.
the way you talk about things, they're like, they take you 100% serious. Everything that comes out of your mouth. I'm like, no. Like, he's just like that. Like, that's his sense of humor. He's that authentic, and he really doesn't care.
a lot of people are like, oh, like that's disrespectful. I'm like, I think it's hilarious. You know, your sense of humor is definitely unique. So not everybody can understand
But
that.
you're also so grandiose with how you explain things.
Yeah.
So they really think you think
Well,
like
thank you
at that
for
level.
Yeah, thank you. I
Like,
think that's
as
a
in, like,
compliment.
literally.
You know, you mentioning that's the first time that I've actually witnessed or thought about it in their perspective of
Oh,
just
yeah?
like meeting someone like me where they're so reserved or just they
Yeah.
never met somebody like me where they're just like, oh my God, what is this guy's on? Like,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
He's
they
just
think
like-
that like you're some like crazy next level womanizer. You're just like all these things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just editing in my room. Just like, yep, next podcast coming out soon, guys. Yeah.
By the way, it's delayed.
It's my favorite type of videos I get tagged in. I'm like, of course it is. 'Cause this man fucking don't sleep. Like he just has a million things going on.
Yeah,
Listen.
at 2 a.m, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call it quits, and that's what I'm saying. It's like now I've prioritized sleep, but just like
I'm
if
so
if
proud
No,
of
it's
you.
good.
yeah, if it comes down to it, work.
I
It will be there
cancel
tomorrow.
Everything over
Yeah.
my sleep.
Yeah, that
8
ma-
hours. Don't speak to me before that. Will I be functional on 6 hours? Yes, but do not expect me to be on my best. You know,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
see me on podcast when I was like a zombie and I'm sitting there. You fucking fell asleep on the podcast.
Yeah, that was no sleep for like 2 days, and I was like, okay, I'm
Man,
Batman.
with this video, you're like,
Yeah.
so D, yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
remember
yeah.
I was drooling, bro. I was okay.
I will never
Oh,
forget
and that was
episode.
a super long story that took me like 30 minutes to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah,
Sorry
that was-
about
And I
that, guys.
just saw that
And then we lost the story because our camera turned off.
Yeah.
I just remember that, and I was just like looking at you. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go with it. Like we're just gonna go with me.
I'll cut this
sleeping.
together just right. It's fine. It worked
that
out.
was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sleep is everything for me, and I'm glad that you're prioritizing it now because we're only getting older, and older when I mean older inside and out.
Yeah.
So
And it
sleep
helps
will
your
save
your whole just physical nature
Yeah.
of just like wrinkles and everything. Just
Yep.
sleep
you see
is
the skin. This
glow.
is 8 hours of sleep. every
Poe
day.
is glowing. Yeah. Poe
Always
glow.
trying. Poe glow. That's actually cute. Poe glow. Wow. Maybe I can utilize that as my future ST name.
There you go. There you go. Get this Poe glow.
Poe glow. You need Poe glow.
There you go.
Oh my God, on the funny part, since I'm like an official ST now, right? So
Okay.
I'm obviously bartending.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm at the bar, I'm like, I have people coming in for facials, and obviously guys think like guys think. And I posted a before and after of one of my regulars the other day.
Yeah.
And I then went to work right after that facial. And then that regular of mine came to craft it for a drink. And everybody's like, Mark, you got a facial today? And then he's like, yeah, look at me glowing. And everybody's like, what did Paulina do to you? And it was just one of those things like, can I get a facial too? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why do you always have to, like, men are just so annoying. He's like, did you sit on his face? I'm like, you need to stop right now. I was like, bro, like this, listen, some people would honestly go with it and run with it and market it this way. But like, obviously I can't because, morals.
Families, yeah. You need to do it for other people.
Yeah. But it's just funny how men operate sometimes and their mind just goes somewhere else. And I'm just like, so ever since we started the episodes, now I catch myself with what I say because I'm like, I know D would like laugh at me in the moment. So I was like, every time I say, oh, I gave him a facial, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Someone's going to make a comment in a second. But back then I was so naive when I would like say something and they would like laugh and I'm like, why are you laughing at me? So you definitely taught me how to use my words properly out in public.
I'm glad something good came out of it.
You
honestly.
created a D filter.
Yes, the filter. I love that. Should we go into the crazy Reddit stories?
Yeah.
I love how we were like, guys, we're just, going into Reddit stories right away. No, it just never happens. I think we always have stuff going on. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering for the next, portion of this, that I'm just wondering like how that's gonna play out.
Well, what? We're just gonna, go straight to it on the second one.
Right.
Who's going first? Me.
You want to go first? Since you said me.
I said me. Okay, I could.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my ex that I wouldn't care if he died?
Ooh. Damn. That's dark.
Ready?
All right.
Censoring out the word because I don't know if it's allowed or not. I, 25 female, was with my ex, 26 male, from junior year of high school to my sophomore year of college. We were inseparable and went to the same university, but he was a year ahead of me. My birthday is late August and my first semester back after his graduation. He only got 2-year degree. He called me for my birthday and ended the call with, let's break up. To say I was heartbroken would be an understatement. I found out 2 weeks later that he was dating a staff member at my school that was around our age. They apparently hit it off during his summer employment and he waited until my birthday to switch over to her.
Ooh.
She often would find me on campus and try to talk to me, but I was so sad and heartbroken that I never told her to leave me alone. After my graduation, I also got a 2-year because I couldn't be there anymore. I moved to a city about 20 minutes from my hometown. I got a good job and a decent apartment. Before I officially moved in, I found out he proposed to his girlfriend and was moving to a house not far from my new apartment, which I found odd, but didn't think too into it because he and I are from the same town. A year into living there, I get a text from an unknown number asking if I wanted this for my birthday. And it was a picture of one of my ex's old high school sweatshirts. I asked who it was, and my ex admitted it was him and begged for my forgiveness because he was young and didn't realize how much he hurt me until now. And that he had left the present on my car. I went outside, and sure enough, the shirt was on my hood. I decided to reply back, I forgive you. Please enjoy married life. Because I was honestly shocked and didn't want things to escalate because he now knew where I was. Thankfully, I hadn't seen nor heard from him since that because I moved about 6 months later for different reasons.
Okay.
Now on to the title. I went to an alumni event at my old college to see an old friend there. That just had a baby. When I arrived, I noticed that my ex was there with his wife, but didn't speak with them. It wasn't until he made his way to me without his wife that we spoke. He told me all about what he's doing and all the things without me asking. I replied, okay, and didn't ask nor told him anything else. He asked, why aren't you more interested in knowing what I'm up to? I know that you're doing other things now. I told him that I wouldn't even care if he died and that only friends care about what the other is up to, which we are not friends. He told me that I hurt his feelings, but went back to his wife and left me alone for the rest of the event. I can't decide if I'm the asshole because what I did say was rude and my friend says my response was harsh, but I don't understand why he cares so much what I think. Am I the asshole here?
Vic, you want to weigh in
There's
first?
an update too. I can
Sure.
go into it.
You want to wait for the update?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not the asshole, I don't think. I think, you know what it is? The guy definitely hasn't gotten over her. But it's not right for him. I get he wants to be funny, but he's not being upfront. And like, he's doing it selfishly. And to do it kind of hiding behind his wife is not a cool thing either.
No.
You know, so because if it was genuine, I feel like you would bring your wife with. Like, for example, I have friends of mine that are also exes.
Okay.
And they are also married and have moved on with their lives and this and that. And when I was still single or dating my wife, I really didn't communicate them with much. Not that I still didn't care about them, but and then when my wife came
was
into the
boundary.
picture, we actually now hang out. We go on double dates,
Oh, nice.
and they get along great. But like the first interaction I did is I introduced them and this and that. This feels very different. So, yeah, her approach was harsh, but she shouldn't like either prohibit it. And his own feelings being hurt is just because he's not being honest in
Yeah.
that sense with himself. Not to say
Yeah,
that
it's
he's
like,
doing
why
this
are you-
maliciously, but like he obviously still cares about her, and it's like
Yeah.
trying to play this emotional game where he can kind of still enjoy her company and her affection
Do you think he's
without
not happy
having
in
her.
his current marriage? Is that why he's revisiting it?
I don't know.
Regardless of what he
that's-
feels, it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think it
I know. I'm
matters
just
in that
trying to
sense.
like think because it's like, why are you revisiting your past? Like, if you were happy, like, you
Well,
would-
because you're not focusing on your future and what your present is, and that's to me. That's why I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I agree. Actually, I don't agree that she was harsh.
No.
I think she did the.
I think it was appropriate.
Yeah, for
harshness.
the.
It was appropriate for
yeah.
the situation.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that. That's the reality
that-
for
me
me.
neither.
I think we
Yeah.
both agree on that. But I don't think she did anything too bad. Honestly,
No.
like
That's what I said. I
just
wouldn't
a-
blame her for her
yeah.
reaction. in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, like certain people just end up like it doesn't matter. It's over. Like, and maybe they hide behind the fact of just like I'm just saying this so you can move on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he needs to move on.
And I think to add to your point is that most likely relationships are hard, marriage is hard, trust me. And when you're going through the tough times, the growing pains of it, of course it's easy to go to someone who's just made you feel
Feel
good
good.
during dating and easy, and you just kind of want to feel that carefree enjoyment from the past too. So it's like he's probably just running away. He's like psychologically, like just running to an easy fix in that sense too.
Easy outlet.
Easy, like to feel cared for because maybe he's not necessarily
Going
doesn't
through
love
it.
his wife. He's just probably going through growing pains, so it feels tense. You know,
But that's a little selfish to me.
it is,
Yeah.
and he obviously needs to work on stuff. But
So
I
to
agree
add
with you.
to
in
it,
that sense.
do you guys believe in like being friends, like splitting in a, let's say, healthier way per se, even though let's say one person doesn't agree, right? Like, let's say I don't agree to it. You decided that we're splitting up and I don't agree with you, but like as a default, like we're splitting up. Do you think it's possible to stay friends? And like, for instance, let's say the reason of the breakup is like, hey, like I think we both need to grow on our own and like kind of healed what we have to heal and go through what we have to go through, because at that point, let's say it's toxic.
Yeah.
But yet we still have loving and we care for each other, and we want to be in each other's presence with certain boundaries, obviously, because now we're not together, right? To support that growth, right? Do you think that's something doable nowadays? Because I feel like it's so hard to
I'm
like
doing
almost
it.
like especially if you're a person who breaks up with someone because you notice that, hey, this is not healthy, like we need to separate for a little bit and maybe revisit it in the future. I feel like it's almost near impossible to like be friends with somebody like
I
that.
don't think it's impossible because I've been through the situation and I've told Victor my situations with some of my exes, and a lot of it has to do with time. Where like you spoke of both of you growing. He hasn't grown past this, and personally for me, it's just like I can speak to now what I call friends instead of exes, where it's just like, no, I reach out to them for advice for things like that because they actually know me in a deeper level than other people, which is so invaluable.
Right.
Where you can't find that from everybody, where they can actually look at you and just be like, one of my exes like described me in such a way where it's like, oh yeah, you're a little over emotional, you're also like you need your space. And it's so weird because it's something that only like somebody very close to me would understand.
know that
How-
level of deepness.
of
Yeah.
how I deal with things and how I
Yeah.
act with things. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to like talk to her on a friendship level through everything we've been through. And now we can just be friends instead of just like, oh, okay, yeah, we had our past.
because
Yeah.
the time has
Yes.
passed.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is almost like you guys are breaking up,
Yeah.
and let's say a month goes by, and like you both let's say the goal was we're going to therapy and getting healed on our own. Do you think it's possible to like stay friends since you broke up, or does
No.
the time need to
Personally,
pass?
I don't. I think
Yeah,
it's,
I'm on your
I
side.
mean, I'll explain like my personal experience. So right now, I would say there is 2 or 3 exes that I would say are good friends of mine. So, and 2 primarily. And one was a 4-year relationship. The other 2 were shorter, much shorter. But the like with the 4-year relationship, that was one example where we both were just getting into these patterns that was destroying us more than building us. We both cared each other. Nothing like exactly betrayal happened or anything in this case. It was just a point where certain aspects of how I operate in life and certain aspects of how she operated in life was just starting to clash so much that it was like we didn't have the emotional maturity to deal with it.
Okay.
So we chose to, like you said,
Split.
split and grow. That was kind of the unofficial thing. We were just like, I care so much about us like knowing each other and being friends that I think being together is going to destroy that friendship.
Now both of you guys had that understanding. What if one person doesn't agree?
That's
Because
always
that person doesn't see it yet.
So that's always like the nuance to it. Like, so in particularly in our case, we ended up separating because it just wasn't melding together right in that sense. And we didn't want to sacrifice the friendship. But now, like you said, it came to that mutual point. It was still hard and everything. After the fact, though, I still worked.
sorry.
I hate
Wow.
Andy.
So, in that particular situation,
What's
this guy
I can't.
just like
every
nukes
episode?
it.
Every episode.
Something.
Yeah, that's the
Oh my god.
Sorry, continue.
But yeah, I mean, our lives still intersected, and there was like for us, it wasn't like any betrayal or anything. It was like a natural discourse. We didn't communicate as much. It's not like we were still hanging out, calling and texting, but we were still ended up running. We would run into each other, and we would always be nice and get life updates and this and that, and it just kind of continued like that. And that's pretty much, we just always kept in touch, you know? I see her at the coffee shop, different things like that. And we still talk to this day. she met Iluza when we were dating. I met her now husband when they first started dating and everything like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, like,
So it's possible.
so it's possible. The thing is, I think it's the biggest thing is two things I realized that I've never done with exes. I've never brought the relationship back up as far as like trying to reminisce about dates and
Okay,
like
good.
about things we did romantically.
Close the door.
You know,
Gotcha.
I never like brought that stuff up ever, really. I just continued with how's life, treated them just like a friend,
Okay.
you know. So I think that's a big thing because if you keep bringing up that stuff, then you're bringing up those the
emotions.
emotions associated with that. Unless you're actually having like a deep conversation,
Right,
or
right,
there's
right, right,
something
right.
related to that. And then secondly, just like I never really sought them out aggressively to like hang out at the same level that we used to hang out.
I got
You know,
you.
like to be casually. And so I think those two, I think is like plays a big part in it. Even
I
though
see.
there may have been feelings back and forth or whatever, but I think that's maybe what has salvaged it and helped us like maintain a friendship. Obviously, I also have exes that I've never spoken to since.
Right.
You know, like I have an ex that cheated on me. I haven't spoken to her since I saw her once after the event happened, and because I just broke up with her immediately afterwards.
Good.
And I saw her once, and she was all shy. She thought I hated her. I was like, no, I forgive you and everything. I mean, I'm good with talking with you and stuff, but I'm just never going to trust you past this
Right.
level.
Right.
And that was the last time I saw her.
You whore.
And
Sorry.
so yeah, it's like, but it's nuanced, like you said. If someone is not able to maturely, and thankfully, they also had the same respect towards me. They were never like trying to hang out with me at that same level. They were never like trying to bring up
It
those
has to be
things with
mutual
me like that.
agreement. Yeah.
So it's like I haven't had that personal experience
I
yet
got
where
you.
someone's like doing that. So I can imagine that's where real serious boundaries, like what she did, is like, okay, I'm not trying to go
Enough
down
is
this
enough.
road consistently. I think it would have been different if he's like, oh, we're in the same town. I hope you've been well.
Right.
You know, it's like
And not just bring
not
up the
being like,
memories and
here's my shirt.
yeah, you might have yeah,
you
like
know, from when we dated and this and that. Like,
Yeah, the reminiscing part is
I had a situation where like
Yeah.
I
keeping
broke
in the
things
past.
I broke things off and I immediately asked for my clothes and like things that I had at the guy's apartment and he would fucking hold it hostage almost. And because like maybe he was hopeful that like I'm gonna change my mind and I like changed my mind about the breakup and I'm like, no, like bring my stuff. Like why are you having it? And I just feel like maybe that guy in that aspect was like, oh, this is my in to have a conversation with her because I still have a sweatshirt that she might want. You know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
it was her
he
gift.
just didn't
in the
want to
past.
let it go.
So annoying. I freaking hate that.
Well,
Just
good
respect
story,
the
though.
decision. But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Next.
Vic,
Next.
So while you read, I'm eating. That
You're
was the
gonna
whole.
get that cookie?
get that cookie, girl. What cookie are you getting? Let them know.
Now let me show you guys.
Yeah, which one is it?
What's my? Let me see my shot.
You got your shot right
Oh,
now.
there we go.
Yeah. So what is it you picking out right there? You got the chocolate chip.
Which one is which?
Well, the chocolate chip is the one to your, yeah, obviously, yeah. Then that one is
M&M?
that one's peanut
Peanut
butter.
butter, okay.
M&M.
Brownie.
Yes, I want to say, and Hershey's actually Hershey's chocolate, and then that one is a white chocolate macadamia.
Oh, was that
with
good one?
Yeah, with I forgot. There's a crunchy
Wow.
thing in the middle. It's
I wanna-
French. I don't know what it is, but that little orb of white chocolateness. Ooh.
That I ruined.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, that you ruined. Deliciousness. It's I think it's strawberry or well, yeah. Orgasm in the mouth. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, sell it, baby, sell it.
That's good.
Can't even focus on my story. I'm just looking
Sorry.
at these cookies.
Only at Cafe Victoria.
Have a cookie, Vic.
I'm about to read.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
very
hold it for me.
read.
Just
Okay.
don't finish it.
I think we sold it
Don't
enough. But,
finish
yeah.
it.
But they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
good cookies, seriously.
No, they're
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
awesome. The Oreo.
Wait, what?
They have an
that
Oreo
Oreo's
one
not
too.
in
It's
there.
not there, but they have.
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
good.
favorite.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my wife after she ruined our wedding?
You gotta say it with your titties, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Repeat. Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my wife after she ruined our wedding?
Oh shit.
So, our wedding was shitty. My male 44 wife, female 42, wore a dress that I hated and had to stay quiet to avoid her hurt her feelings. She changed her hair color days before the event, and it was like I was marrying someone else.
Oh shoot.
Our families are very traditional. She has always dressed in a regular girl next door style, which for me sounds oxymoronic, but okay. She sent me some dress hints via pictures, but kept the actual dress a secret, for which I was excited. On the wedding day, she showed up wearing a sheer lace dress that was too revealing and no flesh color
Shit, I would do.
lighting. I could see her whole legs and her undies. They were
Oh, no,
lace
maybe
and not
not.
sheer. I would have preferred that she didn't wear her cleavage bursting out. It wasn't necessary. I
Okay.
thought sexiness was reserved for the wedding night, not for our guests to see. I would have been okay with it had I been used to this being her regular style. But I don't know what happened. Our friends and families, males, kept a bit distant trying to avoid her. I think it's because they were trying to be respectful. The top of the dress wasn't sheer, but her breasts were almost popping out, and she couldn't dance as happily and carefree as she always does because of it. I understand this is an aesthetic dispute, and life will go on, and I will forget about it eventually. What I can't stomach is that she also asks people for money behind my back, and I feel betrayed. We had agreed on not asking anything from anyone because we didn't want to put people on the spot. Some of our guests are not in the position to give in to pressure. She said, okay, but still turned around and did it anyways. To clarify, we did get cash gifts and physical presents on our wedding day, but it seemed like she wanted to establish a minimum fee. This has been going on since the holidays, and she never included me in the emails. I found out because her best friend dropped out of the wedding after my wife kept pressuring her to try to circumvent her friend's decision not to give extra cash. She argued that giving a cash gift would help cover our honeymoon and reception. I'm dumbfounded. What honeymoon? The one that I already paid for? And the reception was already settled? I also have dignity, and I may work a job that keeps me on the stretch between lower, middle, and working class, but we do not lack for anything. Seeing that the church was missing a chunk of guests at the end of the ceremony was not a great feeling, but I already knew that some of them were boycotting our wedding. They sent us both screenshots of their conversations with my wife, and they said they felt disrespected because she got really pushy and resorted to hostile questioning when being told no. She denied being intentionally difficult, and it's possible that she's being honest and just got carried away. We tried to enjoy our day, but I felt this black cloud hanging over us. It's not just that the wedding sucked or her dress was ugly. I know a wedding is just an event, but I feel betrayed and angry all the time now. My trust is broken, and we lost friends and people that I care about. I don't see how therapy can fix this. It's not just about my trust, but how this person is a whole human being apart from the woman I thought I knew. As background, she got pushy with people who don't have money to spare, and in some cases she said things like, "What about this? What about that?" while being inquisitive and confrontational about their reasons not to give extra money. Also, she sent her best friend a physical holiday greeting with a request money slip that gave the option of 3 amounts. She sent one to our friend Maddie, who was also very excited when Leanne asked for her mailing address and was happy when she was told she was getting a card, but then told me she was furious when she opened it. Because Maddie said that she is ending their relationship because my wife is trying to guilt trip her.
Damn.
I just wanted our wedding to be an occasion to share our happiness, and I wanted our guests to be comfortable, not like we're trying to squeeze them down to their last penny. So now I want to get a divorce, but I know this will destroy her, and I don't want to do that. But being betrayed and sleeping next to someone who was willing to take from others is very disturbing, and I want at least to file for legal separation. We have no kids in common and no shared property yet. Am I the asshole? Also, just to clarify, my wife does have a job. And one last edit. Maddie was avoidant at first and ended up exploding in rage when I asked and noticed she was acting distant. This is how I came to know she was furious. Some of our guests who chose to skip our wedding know each other and sent whatever conversation receipts they had within the days after to each other.
Embarrassing.
Well, outside of embarrassing, that's just like you said. It's a deep betrayal of 180 of a person that you thought you knew
Yeah.
to somebody that you just now you made enemies of my friends, of my families. You just
It's like
created.
he has to battle the whole world now. Even if he wanted to stay with
Yeah.
her, it would just not.
So basically, I'm just gonna say I don't think he's in the wrong to want a divorce or a separation at this point.
Did he? My question is like, we don't know that obviously, but like, was there any form of communication that they've had before? Because that people are first to jump to divorce. Like, why the fuck are you even getting married?
Well, I'll say this because I've seen this before and I've heard of this before from other people. Marriage with certain people changes them, and
Oh,
maybe
100%.
not to the best of who they should
Yeah.
be. And I will say, usually the effect goes to women, not to attack anybody in
totally.
particular. But
Yeah.
it is a woman's day more than it is a man's day. Just to put it in perspective of that.
I agree.
That's how I view it anyways.
Yeah, with the aesthetic
yeah.
stuff and everything.
Yeah.
That's like, okay.
Yeah. So the way that she went about this is very, very dangerous. It's very
Especially that he
yeah.
said, "Don't do it," and she
Yeah.
still went
Yeah.
and did it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I
with
understand.
no reason.
I understand that weddings are pricey because I'm going to bachelorette, in 2 days literally, and I know how much money my best friends came up with to, to have a wedding. And obviously they're very hopeful for cash presents, and instead of having like they're gonna be grateful for everything, but like they pay $200 per head. For the wedding. So it's a lot. So like, I feel like it's okay to be hopeful for cash, but don't expect it, because at the end of the day, you're throwing a wedding. Yeah, this is your wedding, but you also you invite 160 people. You're not going to get cash from 160 people, and they totally understand that. In this case, he said that he already paid for everything. So I'm like, why are you so money hungry? Like, why are you even?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it comes down to
It just
something
makes no
that I
sense.
believe in is like live within your means.
Yeah.
Just in the truth of things, if you're having a wedding, the wedding isn't supposed to be about the party. It isn't supposed to be about presents
Yeah.
or money that comes to you. It's supposed to be about love and a connection you found with somebody special enough to
Right.
share your life with.
Yeah.
And people, again, lose that perspective. For whatever reason, I don't know what attacked her. It might have been a midlife crisis. It
Yeah.
might have been the marriage, because it is a big thing. And I understand that.
People
she-
do crazy
yeah,
things when
yeah.
they're stressed.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like if it is like a total 180
Yeah.
of who she is normally and how she behaves normally, like either he hasn't noticed like pushiness, and maybe she's always been like a little pushy and this
Yes.
and that. So maybe, but it sounds like for him it's a shock.
Right.
Yes.
So, and because I would assume you're dating for a certain amount of time if you're getting married.
Wait,
You know?
but didn't he find that out about her pushing for the money before the wedding?
It's a little unclear when I read it. I mean, both times that I read it,
Because like,
it
why
feels
are you
like
marrying her if you're already unhappy?
it feels
'Cause
like
to
he
me,
was
ma-
finding things out like
Yeah.
as like if
As
anything the
things were-
week of the wedding or this or that, when people are saying I'm not coming,
Yeah.
you know,
So it must
and
have
it
been
says
like,
that he got a lot of this stuff like brought up to him afterwards because it's like his friend Maddie didn't even say anything. That was the edit.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything until he started to question her why you been so distant. But the other thing is, which is missing from the story, is like there needs to be some form of confrontation.
Right,
Like you
I was
need
gonna
to
say, you
question.
have to talk to her.
Hey, what's going on? Are you scared of something? Is there
Yeah.
something happening? You owe someone money? It's like
Yeah, like, why are you so
obviously.
pressuring
Or are
people?
you just feeling under pressure, and this is just you're kind of acting out in this way because you're feeling, maybe you're thinking like, oh, we need to start a family, we need a house or something like that, and you're like, we don't have enough, and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
like
Again,
There's-
I don't.
can be
We
ways.
can,
Yeah.
speculate all
All
we
day.
want on what her
Unfortunately,
thoughts
there's no
are.
update to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, but we know she's an asshole, regardless.
Yeah,
She's
this
totally
is,
an asshole.
this
regardless
is
of
inexcusable.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
are we
Definitely.
justifying the whole like, oh, it's okay for him to ask for divorce? I mean, why are you? Marriage is so serious for me. Like,
Yeah.
don't marry someone. Like, you're
But
supposed
that's
to.
But this is a
I'm
thought
on- yeah.
after getting
Yeah.
married.
Yeah,
he
I'm-
hasn't even had a chance to process all this when he was getting married.
I am a-okay with him getting a divorce on that one because she just hit him with that. Like, out of everything they experienced, and then you get hit with that, that's a giant red flag. If somebody hit me with that, I'm out. I don't know what you're gonna do next.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
have to be out.
I just feel like she.
I feel like a Shark Tank.
I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate.
I just
Yeah.
think there needs to be a serious
Conversation. That's what I was just gonna
That's
say.
what I
Like,
think.
don't just fucking file for divorce without conversating to her. Like, I feel like.
But you did, like, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying she did something without even conversating. Actually, they conversated, and then so it's unexcusable
But
in
wait,
my eyes.
what if like okay? But what if like
Why are you
she-
trying to give her a pass?
No,
bro?
I'm not
Like,
giving her a pass. No. I
know
think
you're
she's an
playing.
asshole for what
Yeah.
she did. Let's
Yeah.
just make it clear.
Yeah.
But to go to the extent of like, oh, I want to divorce her, like, I don't know. Unless there's several different mistakes she's made in the past, and now you want to like, I feel like I don't know.
I personally,
Like I said, I
I'm
feel
out.
like there's a confrontation before the divorce, but I also don't blame the divorce if it happens.
Right.
You know,
I
but like
do
as
agree
long
with
as
that.
as long as it's not like there's zero conversation,
Right,
and all of a sudden
and now
he's
he's
serving her
filing for
papers.
divorce,
That's
like,
also
that's
an
fucked.
extreme.
I understand where you guys are coming from, and
Yeah.
that makes sense in the regard of like
Yeah.
now it's your wife, now you should fight for something.
Yeah.
I
I'm
completely
not even
get-
saying fight for it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying at least have an honest
Yeah,
conversation.
no,
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah,
you
that.
on that, but I would be so betrayed at that point. You made enemies of my family.
But you would confront her. You would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just be like,
So you
divorce.
would still have that confrontation.
You're
That's-
probably right
that's
about
all I'm
that.
And you
saying.
would
I
probably
would have that
react
conversation.
to how she reacts.
Yeah.
Because
But-
it's either two
but
reactions.
you
She's
know-
either not going to accept responsibility,
Yeah.
Right.
and then that's a red flag
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
Or she's just going to be like, "I'm just so sorry. I'm stressed about this house and everything. This is not the way to go. This is not excusable.
For all we
If
care,
were
someone
stressed, I
could
need you
fucking
to
tell
talk
her.
You know,
to me."
with what you're saying to me,
Yeah.
it just makes that more obvious. Hit her with the divorce papers first, because I swear to you,
What the
because
heck?
it's the game of divorce.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to make sure you understand. If you hit them with the divorce paper, you have a leg up on divorce. If she hits you with the divorce papers, she's taking half your shit. And that's for a long, like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll
It's
say
like-
this on the other side. There's been conversations that
Yeah.
like me and my wife had
Of course.
that I would wager if I brought him up here as a Reddit story, you may say, hit it with the divorce papers before you lose all your stuff, you know? But I think, the attitude I kind of try to keep is that that's not even an option. It's
See,
we
that's what I
figured
mean.
this out, and
Yeah,
either
but
that or not.
Well, that's
and
the
I'm not
marriage,
trying
though.
to pick at this.
No, but I
has-
agree with
has
you in
someone-
the sense
yeah,
is there's are
Yeah.
people that play that game.
yeah. But there,
You know.
has your wife ever done something of this degree to you, where she's made enemies, she's asked for people for money behind your back after explicitly discussing things with you? There's
Wait, but
just-
what if
would
she
say none
got
of these
threatened by
specific things.
somebody? Yo, I need you to fucking send me $200,000 tomorrow, or your husband's gonna die. And she went so crazy about it. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying what she did is right. I'm just saying, like, have a conversation. I'm on Victor's side. Like, have a conversation with her. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, who the hell are you? That's not who I married. Like, this is a crazy switch up. Like, I don't even know if I can trust you at this point. And hey, if that conversation results in a divorce, I'm fine with that. But have a conversation before you go and disrespect her back and lower yourself to that level and hit her with the divorce
I
papers.
mean, you could always go immediately get the papers right after, so you win the game.
Yeah, you can.
See,
But at least have decency
But like, have the conversation.
to have a conversation.
See, what I would do is just have the papers ready. So it's like literally, that's how you do that shit, bro. It's like a gun in.
You
like,
do
just
have to
behind-
pay a lawyer to prepare the papers, though.
Exactly, bro. How much? Like, I'd rather pay the lawyer right there and then just like, if I'm not gonna file, if I don't hit her with it, then okay, at least we didn't. You know, that money is okay to lose versus the money that you will lose. There's a difference between those, and you have to measure your own safety because you don't know this person anymore.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
fact that you hit them with divorce doesn't mean that you're walking out with more than a half.
No, of course
You know
not.
what I
But like I said, in court, it benefits you more. That's all I'm saying.
mean? Okay.
Whoever brings it up first.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm more of a prepared person rather than, let them, because she could have those papers too. And then I've heard of stories of just like a wife marrying somebody and then just usually they wait out the exact amount of time, like 6 or 8 months, whatever it is.
Wow.
And then she hits them with the divorce papers. Now I'm taking half your shit or whatever amount. So I'm not saying that's the case for this,
Yeah.
but there's,
I know it happens. It's just hard to imagine, but I know it happens.
And now, just because of that, let's transition to my story because now
on
I got
track.
something just
Oh,
in this
no.
that would fit just
Want a cookie?
perfectly. So yeah. 222.
This is hilarious.
Okay. So, fathers, how did your child change your life forever? My 3-year-old son kept talking about playing games with Miss Sarah at home. I thought he meant his daycare teacher, but when I mentioned it to his teacher, she said there wasn't anyone named Sarah at the center. My wife worked from home while I managed our family restaurant. The hours were long, but it paid the bills. When I asked her about Sarah, and she said our son is probably making up an imaginary friend, which makes sense since kids do that. But then he started describing things. How Miss Sarah had pretty red hair. How she made pancakes when mommy was busy in her room. How she always came over when daddy worked late. My son even drew a picture of her for his art project. One night, I closed the restaurant early as I pulled into our driveway. I noticed an unfamiliar car. Through our kitchen window, I saw a woman with red hair making pancakes with my son while my wife watched from the couch. Turns out Miss Sarah wasn't my wife's friend like she claimed. She was my wife's girlfriend. They've been together
waiting
for
for it.
months, playing house with my son while I worked late. The divorce was messy, but my son made it simple. The judge asked who he wanted to live with. He pointed at me and he said, "Daddy makes real pancakes." Sometimes kids see things clearer than adults ever could.
I swear, when you said about
Whoa.
Miss Sarah's there, like whatever, I was like, there's the wife definitely has a girlfriend. Like
I thought it was like a ghost story for a second.
Miss Sarah,
Hello,
no, but
Halloween
no,
vibes.
but that's what I mean
Wow,
by just
that's a wild one.
Yeah,
That's
to
wild.
your story, to this one, just you don't know what someone's playing. You never know. And again, trust is always a given, at least in the beginning of a relationship. Don't break it or else it's over,
Done,
kind of
yep.
thing like that.
wild.
But I'm a strong believer of just like, if I feel sense some yellow flags and there are red flags, I'm just like, I better just, follow my
protect
gut
myself.
feeling.
Wait, isn't New York at no fault state
Yes.
when
it
you
is.
file?
I'm not
in
sure the
divorce,
rules.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
what
it's
I-
an auto accident.
Because I'm thinking now, like,
Yeah.
obviously, for all of you that have been watching, I was married for a whole 7 months. And I was served.
Oh, there were some girls that were asking about you.
Oh, I know, I saw it.
Oh, why didn't you respond back?
Because I was scared. I was like, oh, my lesbian times are over, guys. I am not revisiting it ever. Love you all, but shit. Too much estrogen. I'm not doing it. I can't. I literally can't. I'll lose my mind, I think.
She was thinking about maybe.
No, I was like,
What a
whoa,
shot.
what a time. But I don't know. Like,
Sorry,
I'm just
Jen.
such an.
I tried. Okay.
You are beautiful. I will tell you that. I checked her. I was like, she's
by
not.
name.
just to send
by
her. I just
name.
let you know. yeah.
You are beautiful, but yeah.
Yeah, she's
no.
strictly Dickly at this point, I guess.
Dickly, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sticking to that. But yeah.
Good cookie.
back to the, yeah.
I love
but-
that Victor is just like, I'm here for the cookies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the divorce and the marriages, I just think we need to be very careful with who we marry and get to know that person. I understand that people change, but like try to really like cover all the bases before you propose to somebody, because fuck, like when I'm in it, without even marriage, if I choose you as my man, I'm so committed to you that like I don't even see the world beside you other than my own world, which can be kind of crazy sometimes. But and not like marriage, I've never been married to someone like for real, you know? So I can't really speak on it, but I can only imagine how much more value that has and how much more importance it brings to the relationship. And I don't take it very softly. I think when you stand in front of each other and you say the vows, like forever and ever, like what first problem you're gonna run away. I mean, that was a big one. I'm not gonna say it's not, but I just think like what you said is like you work through it, that like divorce is not even an option. And when you have that mindset, you do build a strong foundation on those hardships that you go through with your partner. And the communication obviously is always the most important thing.
But I will say in this
But that's
particular
crazy,
situation,
yeah.
in this particular
that's it.
situation,
No, that's it. No, that you're done.
Yeah, there's
Well,
no, there's no
Especially that the
Yeah.
son is involved.
Yeah.
Forget it, bro.
that you, like, I'm not gonna say who in my family, but somebody in my family members has always warned me about that. And I'm not like, you know, they're not anti LGBT, but they definitely would not want. They never wanted me to be with a lesbian or be careful of them just because they're trying to get your seed. And I know that's a terrible mindset to have on somebody, but trying to get your seed and you're just trying to get your kid, and then boom, they're gone. And
Wait, so
yeah,
what you said is kind of like personal to me because obviously I was in a relationship with one girl. I still cannot really explain why I did that. I think I was very lost. I was young and I was here by myself in America. And she was just there for me and we became friends and then we like whatever made out and then it became the whole thing. And it's kind of pathetic when no, we don't scissor. That's fake. That's so fake. But anyway, so I just feel like I was in a sense manipulated into the situation. At the end of the day, we're adults and we make our own choices. But I was so vulnerable where like I honestly was so brainwashed where I was like, shit, I'm not gonna have it better. So I might as well just accept things for what they are. And it's sad to say and sad to admit, but you know, I've made these choices that made me I've benefited from it moving forward in so many ways. But speaking of what you just said, I know for some men, like if a girl was with a woman in the past, like they will automatically not even give you a chance because that's to them, it's a deal breaker. Some guys told me, for instance, like, oh, you were married before, deal breaker. Like I want to experience marriage first with you. But granted, I didn't have a church wedding. It was just like, government wedding, but I mean, marriage. But, you know, they sat me down and they were like, hey, you were married. Like, I don't want that. And I'm like, wow, like at least you know what you want and what you don't want. So speaking about the whole lesbian, like, oh, your family would never want you to date someone like that. What if it was my situation? Like, would that be even not even a question? Like, you would just be like, no, like you dated a woman and you're gonna.
It's more just like they have more of a fear of me being taken advantage of.
Right, absolutely. No, I understand that.
It's not them hating. Like if they're gonna be with another woman, then let them. They're happy for that. But that they will take basically part of our family, like through my heritage, through my blood, through my
and then leave
semen
you
or whatever.
for a woman.
Not just leave me. That's okay. But that they'll take my kid.
I see what you mean.
And
okay.
then
Their
that's
bloodline,
that's where.
But to flip this, like, I know men that has been heterosexual their entire life, and they have kids, and they, you know, that they had a successful marriage, and all of a sudden they're curious about experiencing things of another guy.
Too.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you never know how people switch up on you, but I just feel like.
I completely get that. I'm just saying though, because like you said, you never know, and you have to like sort of trust things and just see how things go. That's completely understandable, because I've seen things outside of just, let's say, the lesbian immigration, where people have made other people fall in love with them just to get the papers.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I've seen both sides of it.
Yeah.
So it's not just a hetero or lesbian or anything like that. It's just somebody taking advantage of somebody, else. And like, again, another example, one of my family members is very strongly against the sense of a marriage from a woman of ours to somebody of Islam cult, religion. Not
think
be
that's-
like for me, like for
Their
our males,
culture.
like they're okay with, okay, if you're gonna marry an Islam woman, that's fine. Like,
Okay.
but if it's a girl marrying into Islam,
Wow.
no, we don't want that, just because then they've heard horror stories. Again, fear runs amok with people.
It only takes like one bad actor in every group.
Yeah.
Because it's like the amount of, for example, LGBT that is, taking advantage of people for their seed is very few. These are the rare
Absolutely.
cases. But they're the cases that get talked about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it becomes a warning label.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like everything, Spanish people, all that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you said,
yeah.
all the religions is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's always
There's always one bad apple.
and in
Yeah.
that it becomes
One
the
bad
label.
actor.
Oh, I mean, that's also an expression.
Is it? I've never
is,
heard
yeah.
of
It's
a bad actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not that bad actors if they got through all of it. So that's why I'm just like, bad
I mean,
apple makes
yeah.
more sense to me.
I
But
mean,
okay,
yeah,
I get you. I get you.
interchangeable. But yeah. So bad apple,
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
actor, bad
Yeah.
salami.
Bad person. Bad person.
Salami.
Person who
salami.
ruins it for the class.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that always becomes the label.
Yeah.
And then that's what people like, that's their first level filter
course.
because, fear, like you said, fear runs things,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think also just for time's sake, it would
course.
probably be good for it to change. Yeah.
But I
I'll
wanted to
let you-
finish
yeah, just wanna make
I
sure
wanted-
we're on the-
Yeah, I was
and-
gonna say it,
Yeah. Well, we finished the story,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but guys, actually, you want to finish anything else that you were just saying within that? Thought?
No, yeah. So, yeah, and then after that label, the hardest thing is sometimes you have to prove it outside of that,
Yeah.
And I think that sucks for like every group because sometimes you have multiple layers on top of you,
Yeah. Of course. So
Wait,
guys,
hold on. I just want to add something quick.
God damn it! All right, go.
Wait, no, I'm gonna leave it for the
go.
next
No,
episode.
no, you should.
add now.
Yeah.
No,
Just
I was
thoughts
gonna
fresh.
say
Just do
I've
it.
realized how many people started podcasts lately because of us.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. Like I just see a bunch of my friends on Instagram like starting their own thing.
I think I saw that too. Cheryl's.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
she-
saw it. I'm like, go girl. Like that's great.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
I think that's a
I-
great note.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
give her
good
a shout out, and I talked to her today about
Yeah?
it. Yeah, I was just like, you should just get a neon sign behind you, probably a little fill-in light. You'll
Yeah,
be
you
fine.
need some light. But hey, like, that's great.
Yeah, she might grow past us
She-
just from the first 2 episodes. Who knows?
I love her because she is like me, very straightforward.
Yeah.
And like does not fuck around.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. We're definitely cheering you on, girl.
Absolutely.
And
And
then-
anybody else that goes and does this too, you can do it too. We'll talk about
just
this more in the
regular
next
people.
Yeah.
episode.
But-
So we're gonna cap it there, but there's no cap,
Hope you liked
guys,
it.
unless it's on Paulina's head. You know, doo-doo. Yeah. So there you go.
We'll see you guys next week.
But before that, make sure you follow, like, subscribe. You know, kiss her ass, whatever.
Buy
you
us
know.
coffee
Yeah,
from
that's
Cafe
it.
Victoria.
Yep. All right. So guys,
Bye.
peace.